everyone, welcome to part 11 of my Expanding the Sound Studio series. For those of you watching in real time, it's been a long time since I posted a video. I hope all of you had a wonderful holiday break, but I'm back and we're gonna finish building the rack that I started talking about in the first 10 episodes. So if you're just finding this video, I'm gonna be building up a rack to expand the Moog Sound Studio one module at a time. I posted it on Modulargrid, that's in the description. And this can serve as a guide to you if you're looking to get into Eurorack or just want to come up with some extra ideas for ways you can add on to your sound studio. So in the last episode, we added an extra oscillator and that gave us some fun new things to do. In this episode, we are going to add a filter. So this is the AI Synthesis OTA4 voltage controlled filter. The reason I chose this one were a couple of reasons. Is number one, I've been really pushing DIY modules in this series. I think it's such a cool way to get into Eurorack. It saves you some money, you learn extra skills, and buying through AI Synthesis is a great way to do it. They have a guarantee where if you run into problems with your build, you can just pay the difference for a fully built module and they'll send you a fully built one. So there's really nothing to lose by trying it, and I really like their modules. So I think the kit for this, it's under $100. I think it's around $85. So I would definitely check out their stuff. But another reason why I chose this particular filter is that it's modeled after the Korg MS-20 filter, which is very, very different than the one in the Moogs. All filters change the sound dramatically. In some ways, they even change it more than the actual oscillators. So I really want to show off what a different filter can sound like when you're filtering the sounds from the Mother or any of the Sound Studio series. In this video, we're going to take a look at the Mother, and you can hear the differences with this filter as opposed to the one in the Sound Studio. Also on the back, there are some trim pots that you can do to adjust things. I've cranked the resonance drive on this, which you'll definitely hear in there, and you can get these really cool vowel sounds. This filter sounds a lot grittier than the one in the Moogs. The Moog filters are kind of known for being smooth. Also a characteristic of the Moog filters is that as you turn up the resonance, you lose a little bit of that low end. And that's something with this filter, you'll notice that as we turn up the resonance, we can still get some of those really low, deep tones. So it's kind of cool to just kind of change up your sound. I made up a quick patch with the Sound Studio, and we're gonna plug in the filter and you can hear some of the differences. All right, let's go make some music. Okay, so I've got the AI Synthesis VCF right here. If you're wondering why my case looks a little bit different, I suppose you can only see a small portion of it, but I realized that the last case that I had built, the blue one, was just a little bit too narrow. It fit all the modules perfectly, and I was using the depth from Modulargrid to measure out how deep I should make it. What I didn't account for was that the flying bus boards, although I was able to fit all the modules in there, just taking them in and out for the purpose of these videos just became too much of a pain. If I wasn't making these videos and didn't need to be removing the modules and putting them in and out, I probably would have just left it because it was fine, but it was just too hard. So I built this other case that I used the Dofer DIY kit, and it's the same size case. It just looks a little bit different and it's quite a bit deeper. Anyways, let me show you how you can hook up an external filter to your Sound Studio, and we'll compare the differences in sound. Let's start off by just hearing the patch that I dialed up. Now, when I play it, I want you to pay particular attention to the changes in sounds when I move the resonance knob. So you can really hear how it loses that low end when it's turned up at all. And it gets a little bit chirpy at the top, but it adds that nice little resonance bump. So what's happening here is the envelope is affecting the cutoff, and I was just playing around with the resonance and the cutoff. So now let's hook up this filter and see the difference in sound. So there are a few patches you have to make. Number one, we have to take a sound source out of here and into here. And we want to keep it away from the filter. So I'm just going to use the VCO pulse wave because that's what we're using. And we'll go direct into the filter. Now to send the sound back into the mother, we're going to come out of the filter and go into our external audio. So now whenever we turn this up, we're going to hear the sound coming through this filter. Whenever the mix is turned down, we're going to hear the filter from the Moog. Just to start off, we're not going to plug the envelope in. I want you to hear what it sounds like. So I'm going to turn the resonance all the way down. We'll turn the mix all the way to the AI synthesis filter, and we'll turn the cutoff all the way up. So right now we are going to be just hearing the AI synthesis filter. Probably don't hear a whole lot of difference. Let me just sweep the filter with no resonance or anything coming from the mother. It's a little bit smoother, I think, on the Moog, but there's not a huge difference. Let's listen to it when we start cranking the resonance on the MS-20 filter. So right there, you can already hear that saturation, that distortion, those vowel sounds. It just sounds really dirty and gritty, and it sounds so much different than anything you can get with the mother. So that's why I was bringing this one up. Let's go one step further. Oh, it sounds so cool. I love the sound of this filter, and it's just such a cool thing when you can hear these differences in sound from different modules. But let's plug in the envelope, EG out, and we're going to plug it into this CV1. And this has an attenuator on it right here, so we can dial in how much of that envelope we want to impact the filter. It's the same exact setup as in the mother with the mod source set to envelope, and we have this attenuator here. So it functions exactly the same way. All right, so now that we've got this plugged in here, let's dial in some cool sounds with the envelope going. What I really like too is that the resonance is turned up and you're not losing any of that bottom end. I'm just going to take a patch cable just because we want to use the rest of our modules. I know you can't see this, it's not on the screen, but I'm going to go ahead and plug in maths in cycle mode, in LFO mode, and create some nice slow LFOs for us. And so that way we can hear what it sounds like with a little bit more modulation. There you have it, that's the AI synthesis filter. Make sure to check out their website, it's down in the description. You can also order from Perfect Circuit if you want fully built modules. If you're overseas, you can get a lot of their kits from Thonk. In the next episode, we're gonna add even more modulation, and we're gonna look at the QSynth Quad LFO. So stay tuned, make sure you like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, I'll see you next time.